Hello. Hi. Morning. Morning. Hello, Lisa. Oh, please have a seat. Some of you might have already been in some teachings with the lamas. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah? And where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio.
Costa Rica. Ah, yeah. And you? You stay here?
I actually was born in Italy.
Oh!
But I
yeah.
now live here.
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Okay. We'll do a little prayer and then we begin talk. Oi la ma lai jab sun ji wo san ji lai jab sun ji wo chue lai jab sun ji wo gen din lai jab sun ji wo la ma lai jab sun ji wo san ji lai jab sun ji wo chue lai jab sun ji wo Gen la Japson wo. I take refuge in the Lama, I take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. Moi nam ga dan nyam bisim jen tam je dewa dan devi judan dembar juje dunga da dunga ji judan drawar juje dunga me be dewa tambada. Mindrawa juji nyirin jadan nidan drave dan yin jembe ngando semra dun nebar jure je. You have a by heart for immeasurable prayer? Yeah? No? You had that booklet of prayers. Ah.
I brought mine.
Yeah.
I can never memorize it.
Yes. Can I borrow that?
Mm-hmm.
So you all, I will read and then you all pray together. Yeah? May all sentient beings obtain happiness and the causes of happiness. May they all be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separate from the bliss that is without suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from hate and aversion. I think we should print this a little bit more so that in future others can read also. Very good. Thank you, you brought this. Yeah, this one. This, if anyone wants to take refuge, that's you can use that, but it's okay. Palden Tsavi Lama Rinpoche Daki Chiburpendi Denjula Kadin Chimbugone Jezonte Kuzon Tubji Ngudup Zalto Sol Palden Tsavi Lama Rinpoche Daki Chiburpendi Denjula Kadin Chimbugone Jezonte Kuzon Tubji Ngudup Zalto Sol Palden Tsavi Lama Rinpoche Daki Chiburpendi Denjula Kadin chimbi gon jezun de kusung tuk jing rup zal tu sol. Glorious and a precious root Lama, seated on lotus and a moon seat on the crown of my head, through your great kindness, having accepted me as your disciple, please bestow upon me the enlightened accomplishments of the body, speech, and mind. So many of you, some of you may know me, some of you just kind of finding out that who I am through some of the videos of and this might be my 8th or 9th time in San Antonio. 8th or 9th time. Started coming here since almost from 2001. Ever since I know Jerry Gonzalez here. And this is the longest gap. Last time up to this trip, for the last 1.5 years, I just took a break from all the trip. Stayed back in India, because I was not feeling well. So doctor's advice to take it easy, because maybe I was running too much, too much jet lag and missing home food. Yeah, I guess. So this is after 1.5 years. I'm touring around just to say hello and how are you? Happy to see you. As you have seen, the reason why is that I'm running around for so many years trying to accomplish the monastery, to preserve our culture, our Tibetan culture, the backbone of our culture, the heart of our culture is Buddha Dharma, which is basically loving kindness and compassion to all sentient beings. And that's the essential of a practice. And so we do our best to preserve that culture, traditions. And unlike any other times, we are in great danger now, because in Tibet there are so many what do you call as pressure by Chinese, and so therefore we are really losing so many great people who are so compassionate. Lately you might have seen, there are so many self-immolations going on. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, in the news. They're burning themselves. Many monks and nuns. Almost now is more than 30 people have done this. They're not doing it just because they're just they like to show up or anything like that. They would never take such a heinous step as being a Tibetan, and especially being in that kind of a culture, would never take that step, because you have left no choice but to take that step, because you live in a regime that is really a torture. And once you are targeted, then you are completely like being executing every day. You know, they torture with the electric shock to, you know, put a needle in between your nails and finger to you know, even the females, they electric shock in their own, you know, private parts. And they're very cruel way of torturing, and those people are dying every day. So there is this commitment comes saying, you know, why would I let you commit that kind of a crime that accumulates so much negative for yourself? Let me take my own life so that you don't have to face that suffering for tomorrow for yourself. So that also based on compassion they do it, because there is nothing left to do, you know. Then let yourself torture every day and die every day. So they are completely eliminating our culture in Tibet. And so therefore, unlike any other time, it's in a great difficult situations for Tibetan people. But of course, the Tibetan who lives in India has not that of a torture at all. They are living in much more kind of a freedom, liberated. India is being very kind to us, very generous to us, to give us refuge, and also, you know, give us a land where we can exile and live and cultivate and things like that. And you have full freedom to practice your religious or your spiritual, your traditions, you know. So today somehow, you know, this trip I actually made it as a you know, entire world tour to say hello and thank you for supporting our, you know, cause and being there for us. But then, you know, when you are already here, then you really do your best to give your time to them, because then, you know, they expect to give some teachings and so on and so forth. So I look at myself, and I'm not that of a bad sick person that I could not talk. So I said, okay, that's okay, will do. So we had a very nice program in Miami. I just finished that and came, and so I'm here in San Antonio. I have a long way to go now. You know, go to Mexico, Sedona, Montana, Los Angeles, back to Miami, Spain, Germany, France, all of those countries. Yes. I thought I would just say hi and then leave, but it's not going to work. Anyway, I'm very happy to be back here in San Antonio and Tashi Delek to you all. As you all, you know, contribute, this country is really been the most generous country for the Tibetan cause, you know. From the day one, I remember from very young age, I always remember in this country is a flag that, you know, white, blue and red, that has been printed on sack of gunny bag, which contains the corn flour that used to get in our home, and we used to live on that, you see. So from that day to the day that I started my project after the you know, my study in Nepal for the Home for the Aged, it has been great generous to all the cause, and so therefore I really want to thank you all, those who have been contributing to the monastery and to preservation of our culture, and for the school, for the children that we are raising them with the full of compassion, and so that tomorrow we'll have much more greater effective teachers who can come out to, you know, give much more wisdom to all of us. So thank you all for being those who have been part of it. I would really from behalf of all the monastery monks and the refugee camps. And back you have seen the monastery where it is located. It is one of the most rural area, which is, people have to see doctors like hours and hours, have to, bumpy roads. There is no such roads, and so places like that, and those who have been contributing towards that projects, I thank you from behalf of all the entire Tibetan refugee camps, and from the monks, and from myself, and those who's going to be supportive to this cause. We always will keep you all in a prayer, and so that as you all wish for our well-being, we pray that you have a long and healthy, prosperous life. So I actually have no idea what we are going to do today. Definitely I will do some little ceremony for you all to have blessings to you all, and beside that, you live in a very abundance of everything. You live in such a precious country. I wrote something a few days ago. Mothers from the miracle land of Miami, and living in a southern beach where the blinking lights on, or something like that, And then I said, pure land of Amitabha Buddha, and then it was posted in Facebook somehow, and somebody said, "Oh, Miami is Amitabha Buddha's land? Is that Devachan? Maybe not for you, maybe yes for me." Who knows? It's up to how you look at it. So everything is dependent. Yeah. Living in such a abundance of prosper life, that uncomparable, precious, uncomparable, abundance compared to countless beings, numberless beings out there. It is really uncomparable, the precious life that we have. And so I always tell people, you really don't have to have a psychic to tell you who you were before and who you are going to be next. You will not find many Tibetan lamas going to psychic. Really. The reason why is because we really don't need to know. We already know. We are so lucky. We are so fortunate. I might have done something incredibly accumulated great merit to be able to reborn as such a form of life. I don't have to assure by anyone. I know I'm very fortunate. And plus, in order to hear the loving kindness, compassion, Buddha nature, limitless possibilities. I'm so fortunate. The Buddha's names are completely not vanished from this world. There are still many, many compassionate bodhisattvas are wandering around giving teachings of a Buddha Dharma, still existing on this earth. I am so fortunate. I am so fortunate by meeting my own Lama that made me who I am today. That if there is some kind of little generosity that grows in my heart, some kind of compassion in my heart, that is all given the blessing by him. So I am so fortunate. I cannot compare myself to anything else. So therefore, not only me, but every one of you are very fortunate. I always give this example, Texas is the biggest state, I believe, yeah? And everybody is second biggest state, yeah? Okay, and I see all Texas are quite big. I'm just kidding. Quite big, and they have quite big plates too. And that assures me they live in quite an abundant way, It's very fortunate, yeah. But you have a big yard, yeah, big yard, big land, and then if you lift a small stone underneath, it almost looks like entire human populations are underneath of that small stone. The little creatures, the bugs, virus, bacteria. You need a microscope to look. Then you compare entire world on the earth, inside the earth, numberless beings. Those who are in ocean, uncomparable beings. Small, tiny size of a needles to the big whale. Cannot even count how many. Difference and numbers are there. And so it is almost impossible, yeah, just to say, to be born as a human form. We could have been born into so many different varieties of form are there. We could have born in such form, unfortunately. But somehow we have born as a human being. So I say this because you might have done something incredibly wonderful in last life. You might have earned so much of great merit, the uncomparable merit that you've accumulated to be reborn as a form of human being, where you have a perfect form of human being. You can listen, you can see, you can experience, you can explore limitless possibilities, get enlightenment. Such a precious life. And so we don't need to have anyone assure us that you have that. And what you are going to be in next, in Tibetan we say, what you are going to be next? Watch out your action. As simple as it is. You watch out your action. You keep killing, there is a consequences. You may reborn. You keep cockroach, chances are to be born as a cockroach. And the cockroach born you and then spray again to you. Goes on, cycle. So it is very important. It's very simple. Yeah, I heard it's from what you call as from Australia, that they have this hook. They throw and then it comes back. Yeah, what goes around, what comes around, they say. Yeah, but it very suits for the karma, the consequence, the cause and effect. What goes around comes around. Very true. So when we have such a form of life, then every moment becomes very, very precious. Yeah, every breath becomes very precious. Every single moment, second, becomes very precious. In a Tibetan Buddhism, the main fundamental practice is to generate compassion. And generating compassion is not only for oneself, but realizing that every sentient being, not only oneself, but every sentient being is in that situation where you are. And so it is very important, it becomes very important for us, we may not able to get into someone's mind. Yeah, I cannot enter in your body and to say, oh, now I understand. It is almost impossible. So in order to understand, we need to look at within oneself, because everything, every feeling, every organ to the body, every way is a dictate from myself to you. Yeah, it's almost like a projection of myself. So if I cannot understand, or I really understand you, then it is very important to be able to, you are already within yourself. Yeah, so you can, when we cannot really bring the change out there, it needs to change within oneself. So therefore it is easiest way you can do is really look one's own mind. Yeah, because we cannot get into someone else's life and their body and to see what the feelings are, but we can check oneself. Yeah, which is the exact projection of oneself. So however, everything that you really cure from oneself, you're curing the sickness or suffering from the out there. So I always say this, because there's so many out there, numberless beings out there, then we will say like, oh, just thinking about it is exhausting. How can I do this? It is true, we will get exhausted if we don't really practice oneself. It is exhausting, because we just cannot go on saying, I'm here to save the world. It is almost impossible. It will look funny when I already have my own problem in the home. If I don't know how to take care of that, it is almost looks like what do you call that? Chicken with no head, running around. Have no idea what you're going to do. So it is very important to understand oneself, one's own thinking, thoughts. Diane, how are you doing? Don't cry too much. Okay? I understand what you're going through. Life is unpredictable to anyone. The one who have born, there is a death. That is definitely guarantee. The lotto jackpots are not guarantee, yeah? But this one is guarantee for us. We all will face, yeah, sooner or later. Maybe we live 10 more years, or 20 more years, or 30 more years, maybe maximum 40 more years, 50 more years. But it is guaranteed that there is an end for all of us. So don't make yourself too exhausted on that, because your mom may not like to see you in that position, right? Because they always wish us the best. Their prayer, their desire is only one single thing, and that is our well-being and our happiness. So it is almost becomes like we cannot be so selfish by crying though, saying I am miserable, because that itself creates the vibration of what we call as a emotional vibrate that brings pain for those who have been wished throughout many lifetimes, and it affects everyone. So we cannot be too emotional, and that's why in Tibetan we say we cannot be dumb compassion. We have to be a wise compassionate one. If for instance someone who really does something stupidity, and by his ignorant, I have to take it in a way that I would not let him accumulate furthermore karma for himself. So therefore I cannot react too strongly on that. I have to look at it in a little bit furthermore, where he cannot look. You see? So it is like a back and forth. It's not always me. It's always about someone else, and then it reacts back to you. So there is one mother who is so worried about her child who is drinker, drinks a lot, and he got disease, sickness, cancer, but yet he still drinks. So the mother is so sad because he never listens to her, and she bows to me and she cries and says, Rinpoche, what do I do? I'm in great pain to see him go through this. And I said, I think one thing you can do is don't cry. One thing you can do is sometime do your best to ignore, even though it is very hard for the mother to do such things. But yet, in order to have a greater compassion, you just do your best to ignore it, in order for him not to accumulate that karma by creating that suffering for you. So you don't create that karma, let him accumulate that karma, so that he don't fall down and down. So compassion is not always like you see, compassion should be sometime, you need to do this, you have to do this, you see, with a stronger. But intention, motivation is something greater, So depend on that. So ones who have passed through from this life, it says that if the loved ones cries with the shades of tears a lot, then it for the being who have so attached to us, it becomes harder for their journey. It's like a thunder, and it's almost like a rains of weapons that will chop them off. It's like such a painful. To say it's such painful to take that journey. It just always drags them back. So you have to let them go. Let them go to where it needs to be. So we cannot just hold on to that. Okay. That's good for you and good for her. Okay. I felt that when I was 10, 11 years old, when I heard first time my mother died. And
that news was like a unbelievable one. Yeah. I dreamed, the first night I dreamed her in the monastery. She's coming from the window side and I see, wow, my mom is here. And everybody's saying she died. And she comes from the door and hugs me and saying, you need to study, you have a great work to do, you need to study hard, okay? I'm not dead, I will never die for you. And I was like, okay, okay. That morning when I woke up, I felt like, wow, my mom will never die. She would never die. And so you saw the story, yeah? I went on thinking I would meet her, but I never met. But so therefore, anyway, today I call every mother is my mother. Every mother is a mother for me. They all have the same kind, gentle, compassion, caring, always giving up their desire, their well-being, and for this only one single thing is for the sake of our well-being. And the era that we live in is such an unfortunate today. Life is like we kind of not only doubt on everybody, but we even doubt on our own parents here sometimes. Feel like, why is that she's doing this much of, so much of favor to me? What does she need? What do they need? It's like, feel that, yeah. We live in such a difficult era. We doubt everyone. We have no one left now and we don't doubt. No. And so we become lonely. Yeah? So alone. And in reality, we see it, their desire, only one, their wish is our happiness, our well-being. And so if we put in that position, if ourselves, really in Tibetan we say, you never can pay back, repay them what they have given us. It's impossible. We say in Tibetan, yeah, you carry them, your father, mother. If you can, like a one of those, what do you call that, Superman, circumambulate whole universe 3 times, carry them like Superman. If you can, still cannot pay back what they have given us. If you can even buy entire taxes, give them, repay, that will not fulfill what they have given us. And so therefore, what will make them really fulfill what they have given us is when you put yourself in a position where it brings the great happiness. Yeah? Because that is the only wish that they had. Yeah? Ultimate happiness. How a different culture it might be, how a different tradition that might be, how a difference of a lifestyle you might live, but the mother always wish one same thing is your well-being, your happiness. If you look at even the tiger, yeah, looks like a wrathful canines. One grab will kill them. But when it comes on their cubs, that canine become like a sponge, yeah? And then they protect them, they fight for them, they defend them until they die. So their wish is only one single thing, is so that we don't fall in more miserable. Even we have a mother today, 40, 50 years old, have you eaten? Same question. Any culture will do that. You know, have you taken shower? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. They may say, yeah, they may say, wow. And then if you cry in the phone, they just hear the voice of crying, they will cry. They'll be miserable. You know? It will be like a mess for them, you know. It will be like the entire suffering. Oh, you smile, laugh, they will smile, laugh, and what happened? So it's not just only in one culture or one tradition, it is in every single being's nature. And so therefore in Tibetan we say, all the mother beings, there is no single beings are, you know, are not being relate to us. They all been one way or another, always been related to us from many, many lifetimes. Either they have been our father, mother, brother, sisters, friends, yeah, uncles, aunts, so protective of us, and even considered to be enemies. Yeah. Even in those times also they taught us how to be patient, tolerance, being great teachers. So there is no single beings not have been so kind to us. So it becomes our responsibility today, being born as a human being, and so therefore we need to play our role, yeah, to be active, not just saying I'm single person, I'm not a millionaire, I am so and so, I cannot do so many things. Yeah. Generating great kind and compassion and walking around with this smile and such a kind attitude will cost nothing. You don't have to be a millionaire for that. So you generate, you know, your kind thoughts, your compassionate attitude brings the great happiness and it reacts to all sentient beings. So otherwise, if we, as I say, you know, don't cry. It looks a little funny for other culture. Maybe it looks funny, like she have lost the mother. Now this Lama is saying you don't cry. Yeah. But as I said, if you poke yourself, it is not just poking yourself, but it's almost like a poking everyone, every living beings who have wished you the best, you know. So therefore it is very important to understand that you are not alone. You know, everyone is related to us. You know. So whatever single thing you do, either good or bad, it reflects to everyone. And so you sit down for 5 minutes to think of what great generating compassion and kindness. That itself is really such an uncomparable merit that you accumulate, compared to even just chanting, but sitting oneself, looking at one's own mind with a full of compassion. That is accumulates great generous merit than any other practice that you would ever practice. You know. That is the giving back, payback to all mother beings. That's a perfect way, because that will fulfill their wish and desire that they have ever wished. For instance, as I know that you know, George Bush is from Texas, but you know, somehow you know, the entire country vote for him to be president. Yeah, and somehow those who have voted for him, they wished the country will go into great, you know, economic development, brings a lot of prosperity and happiness in the country. But I remember when the Clinton was in position and I reached in New York, people were singing and eating and you know, there was no military at all in the airport. As soon as George Bush came, military was everywhere in the airport. Everybody was like miserable. I can feel that, you know. Even when 9/11 happened, I was in San Antonio in Jerry's home. We watched that live. And next day I had a talk. That very day I had a talk. in Unlimited Third bookstore. And there was an interview going on from the televisions. Few of them, remember? Channel 13 or 12 or 7 or whatever. They came and asked like 45 minutes of interview from me, saying, what do you think? George Bush is going to war. What do you think? I said, war is never an answer. We had it. We feel the pain. We already know. We don't go back to China and bomb them because we don't want any other people to face that. I think that is the way to eliminate the suffering. So we just don't go decide like that. It will create more problems for us. Next afternoon, remember, I was watching TV and I say, okay, let's see what I have given the interviews, what they have added. And they says, you know what he says? I love San Antonio. Thank you. It was very nice. That's it. That was my interview. I remember that. Just a few second sentence, I'm saying I'm very happy here. I love Texas. That's all. So everybody was angry, upset. I know, I understand. And so someone like George Bush that has been voted by the people, expecting something really greater, prosper that he will bring, and then he brought this war. Put everybody in debt, put in miserable life now, cannot fix this for decades now. It feels like betrayed, yeah? This leader comes up, says something very beautiful and then does something very, very, different than what they talk about. And now we have this situation. Many generations have to face it. Many countries will hate them. So it is almost feels like a betrayed. We are all like a George Bush today. We have been voted by every single sentient beings have put their effort, wished, prayed. The prayer has been answered. We have been born as a human being now. Now it's up to us whether we really want to take that responsibility to act in a good way to benefit all sentient beings, or we just want to waste it, ignore it, and just forget about it and create much more disaster, much more of problems. And so every single thing that we do in our life, nobody is responsible but ourselves. Yeah? Nobody is going to share that. Every single thing. So it is very important to understand that we are in a great responsibilities being born as a human being. So we have to really take it very serious in this lifetime. You can be like Hitler, yeah. You can be like those great Maras who are being so distracted, destroyed all the good things in the world, or you want to be like Buddha and Jesus, who look upon, who today even does not know by anyone, but they like to have a statue of Buddha in every house. So it is up to us, yeah. It is in our hand. You want to grab, you want to lose it, life goes by. 1.5 years, it's gone just like that. It feels like I see Jerry yesterday, yeah. So it is really slips by, just vanishes. And 10 years will go like that, like overnight. So it is very important for us to take so today nothing, at least we do the Tongling meditation together. Yeah? we generate the compassion and eliminate their sufferings, and so that every breath that we take, we generate that kind of compassion and be mindful of every single thing that we do in our life. So we do that, yeah? Some of you might not have Kelly John Clark have already introduced himself, I guess, before I come, kind of, yeah. Kelly John Clark is my student, and very bad student. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. He's one of my best students, who is being very kind, compassionate human being, and one of a kind human being. And I adore him in many ways, what he does, more than my own blood brothers and sisters. Because if you are not doing anything for the sake of anybody and just living your life, then I think I prefer those who thinks of others and consider them as my closest one. So I consider him as really very close with my disciple, my students, my friend, who is always willing to be there for the homeless people. And we do homeless feeding in Miami, but homeless meditations is very rare. So it has been started here in San Antonio, and he's carry on that very, very, compassionate, and you get tired of doing some things that really selfless is little hard, yeah. Selfish is quite easy, but actually that should be actually hard, yeah. Because you selfless is supposed to be actually very easy going, because there is no, when you do that, it becomes like a free yourself, then you are fearless, with brave, and that feeling is kind of a undescribable feeling. But when it comes in selfish, then you supposed to have kind of what you call as a fear, embarrassment, all of those things, because you're only asking of oneself. And not only you're asking oneself or one single thing, but you're asking a lot. So to be a selfless in that way, in Tibetan version we say is Chanchu Sempa, the one who has accomplished realizations, to understand the compassion, but to be Pao, the bravest one, who really willing, consistency of willingness to give up their well-being for the sake of others, to be such a brave, and to taking that commitment to reborn again and again for the sake of others, so many years he's been doing that every day in their life, his life, and to those who are destitute, who are helpless, and my prayer and my blessings as my heart son. I love you as that way, and so you carry on your effort, never give up, okay? Never give up. When you never give up, you will be there, sometimes up and down, people will say things, this and that, but your motivation, intention is pure, you're working hard, you're there. And as I said, you track down the numbers of the people who have benefited. It is very important. It is very unfortunate. Sometimes it's just like, oh, now I have to think of as a business, like numbers. I have to show people that. No, it is not. Unfortunately, people have no sixth sense. Unfortunately, people have not. They are very limited. So therefore, I have to. If I come inside with a suit and tie and funny looking, then they will feel like, oh, who is that? This one. And then they go like, wow. You see? Because we are limited. We cannot see beyond that colors and image. So that's why even in Tibetan we say, we cannot judge anyone. Tiger's qualities, to recognize the tiger is out there, on his skin, the lines, the art of the tiger, that be able to recognize that that's a tiger. Ooh. But in order to recognize the human being, their qualities, we cannot judge anyone. Their quality is within themselves. We cannot see inside. So that's why we have to respect every single being. So as for so many years you've been trying to work on this, you've been doing this, and all my blessings and love for you. And you carry on this with continuations. And as I always say, khale khale, you'll be there. Yeah? Wonderful.
Now you're going to sing it? I'm just playing.
That's why I say he's a bad boy. Anyway, I thank you for doing such things. Yeah, I'm proud of you, and carry on doing those, and reach out countless beings that are unfortunate in many ways, destitute, those who are in a position with a fear. You give some strength to them, and you don't have to have so many of record of what you call as some medias and flashy things. Your effort continues like that, it pops up, yeah? So, naturally. And so today is the only day in San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Okay. I wrote a prayer that I share with you all, and so maybe Jerry can print this in the future and pass it to you all, or maybe he can send you through emails. And again, one more person who needs to introduce is Jerry Gonzalez. The only reason I'm here in San Antonio for so many years is because of him. So anyway, been devoted to me, always been devoted to me. And thank you once again, Jerry. Your contribution, your being there in my life is what my projects is possible. Yeah, people like you makes me, my project and my children's back home, they are growing beautifully. So your dedication, your sacrifice, your hard-earned, sweated money that feeds our children's. and brought up those children so beautiful. And you will see, after 2 years we are starting the university, which is the Shedra. And once they finish that, Manpad is producing great teachers of great masters that will come tomorrow to teach you all. So then I will have a less of a responsibility. Otherwise, right now I'm in between. Yeah, all my past life students are all died. My new generations, who I'm feeding and bringing them up to do the job for preservation of Dharma, they're still young. So I'm in between. I'm running like crazy. So I wrote these prayers, which we call 7-limb prayer or 7-branch prayer, which is very important actually in the Buddhism, to have this practice in order to really in daily routines about one's own practice, to do that practice. And do that prayer and do that practice through body, speech and mind, as offering prostrations and offering things to the higher, or in the altars, and in order to accumulate merit, furthermore merit that will able to make much more possibilities of do a greater jobs and not have a lot of obstacles. And then to confess oneself, yeah, and then to do the prayer to those who have shown us the abilities and possibilities that Buddha nature within all sentient beings, and to pray to those Buddhas, and then requesting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to remain until the end of all the sentient beings is eliminated from the cycle of suffering. And so these 7 branches, 7-limb prayer that I wrote, there are many different versions of 7-line and 7-limb or branch of prayers, but this is written specially by myself. Yeah, wherever I go, I hope and pray that they all can carry on with these prayers. And then the next one is a prayer for Tsori Dechen, yogi, that is the reincarnated, the one who is consider me as reincarnated from that. But when I see his life story in the past from the Tibetan people, when I hear them say things about my previous life, what he have accomplished and what he have done in entire his life, I was quite amazed and very devoted, furthermore to be able to do so in such a way, what he have done and accomplished in his lifetime. And this is my prayer to him, because wherever I go and whomever I touched, they all have somehow connected to me. So somehow, since I am considered to be that reincarnated, so I pray, I made this prayer so that you all can have a kind of a true direct connections with that activities. So I wrote that prayers. And then the last one prayer is to my Lama. My Lama is Tuampe Manobu, who is His Holiness Penna Rinpoche. Ever heard of His Holiness Penna Rinpoche? No? Yeah, okay, 1 and 2. So His Holiness Penna Rinpoche is my teacher, who is also a reincarnated Lama, considered to be the greatest one, manifestations of Bimala Mitra, who is the great, scholar from the great Arhats. So when we lost our country in 59, many Tibetans, great lamas, have scattered throughout the India, and so one of them was my teacher, And when he entered into refugee camps, he immediately said, I don't want to waste time. I just want to rebuild. I just want to preserve the Dharma. And what he did is he started building these huge monasteries. And he had like only few, like 10, 20 monks. And he started working hard on that land and building these huge temples. And people used to criticize, saying, look at him, you know, we don't have food to eat, and look at him, he's making this huge building for what? And then more and more people showed up. They all want to, you know, study in that monastery. And today, how many, you know, monks and nuns study in that monastery? 5,000. And one single man, my teacher, feeds them, clothes them, educates them. My teacher, my Lama, my everything, he passed away in 2009. Last few years back. 2010, I'm sorry, 2010. So I am raised under his care, and he is my everything, you know, who has been so kind to me, who have shown me the abilities, who have shown me the possibilities, limitless possibilities that human carries. And every breath that I take, I owe to him. And whatever I'm doing, trying to do today, I really compare to what he have done in his lifetime. I cannot really compare at all. It's just a small part of my service to him. And without him, I would be Wonder Man, a madman, really, you know. I could be in great danger in many lifetimes, because the action that we accumulate in this lifetime, it is worse than nuclear bomb. Nuclear and guns can kill you just one time. It cannot kill you next life. But the things that we do, accumulate merit by killing other sentient beings, you put danger in many lifetimes of yourself. You kill your all entire future lives. So how kind he must be to put me in right direction. So so I wrote this prayer to him, whoever I get in touch with, so that they all can have a connection to him. So I will read this so that you have a transmissions, because I have written this, so I give you the transmission, and then you can do the prayer in the future whenever you have little free times, you know. Chamdro yunla dumba jukso tangbo chansa wani chembi panga chukun nelu zik nupin rokam tamchu duji jin tsevi ranzu malun rowa ten lume kunsho sumla techa tse kamsum jorwi lekso pame tang tizan ro cho lugar yanyin so dewar sheba sedan lomi so thakpa chenpu choji chobarji jewan didan serap chengwa yi nyamo wangki mege jiba kun shakbi jalpo himbo topji yi thamba namji yungshin shabarji tesum deshi jawa chonam thang rowi khamder decho geso chichi kun tayi tepa nitar yirang ngo Java zikpa chanchup drobi lam tamchu duji rimpa chinye nam kachab shingin drowa dida la sadan jachi chokor kordu sol nundu Java tangbo tukje tar drogun yawar midur tamcha wi dongan kovi janso matong war tapke tukjin drogun yukso sol Chinye sakbi getso chi chiba tusum devara shekta jase chi namda drowe tuntu menpa shin lame chanchu topar chi ngowar sho ngowar chi. Pray to the Surdechin chilab nawa bumchi chibine ngonsar nencho tsori taupi shing jume kunye tupi nanjurupa dechin yijin nurbu sovande chewande dan tsero tingwa kun. Gombo che dan namya mendra shing kusun tuji ngurup malipa daja gosum membra chinje lo ngedun chuku nyinshin sulzungwa lungni ne la kebe drenda tral chenle chome lujen kunla zik tagbi gombo che la tsungpar sho. Pray to his own Rinpoche nyingme tundir tembe drame chere lujen tagbi guntu savunze pa ngedun shinin chenpo yongdra pi jingme tuden shirup sowande jingme popa taye kayin na shin tupten dudu zimbe lalo tso shedu ninda zunki nangwa je choji draya shabla sowande trubi wangchu nini nyingmi sempa cho pema tardu chaso chimame narbu shindu sowa yaya de gonde kunjung chela sowande. By to common Jimesunam, incarnation of the Tsori Dechin and the accomplished yoga of the degenerate time, the mind treasury will of written by Tsori Rinpoche. So, first 4 line, Chempe Panga Chukun Nelu Zig Nipi Drokam Tamchu Duzichin Sebi Ranzu Malun Drowaten Lume Kuncho Sumlang Chaze Dechaze. Firstly, prostrating through the 33 jewels Buddha, Dharma, the Sangha. Might be most of you know about the taking refuge, yeah, as considerably taking refuge, and especially in this part of 7 branch prayer or 7 limb prayer, you create a small altar in your home. When you create a small altar, have a Buddha's image on topest, the highest one. Then, if you can, Avalokiteshvara, the Konging, or the Guru Rinpoche's image, these 3 is more than enough. Or if you don't have anything, Buddha image, single Buddha image is more than enough. Even you don't have that, you Google, you find everything there. Yeah, you find everything there. Oh, I find everything there. Anyway, if you don't find anything, then you find a Lama, my picture, or some his own Rinpoche picture. You consider this as my Buddha, my Dharma, my Sangha, all in this, past, future, present, all included in this. This is my everything, more than enough. And so you offer some offerings, and then you do prostrations, take refuge and then prostrate. Having obtained it, wisdom, knowledge, you view all the existence, your power given the nectar of a Dharma to all beings, and guided all the beings with compassion. Thus I genuine triple gems and prostrate. Yeah? You understand that? Yeah? Bowing down with such a gratitude, and to really eliminate all the, one's own ego, and then do the prostration 3 times, 4 times, however you want. Prostration is not like something like, the master and the Buddha is so hunger of, or it will make them so happy by you doing prostrations. No. It is all about oneself. We have to understand. Yeah, every single thing that you do is all about yourself. It is all about oneself. You know, so it depends on one's own time. If you have more longer time, you can do the full length of prostrations by lama la jabsun chewo, sanje la jabsun chewo, chö la jabsun chewo, gendun la jabsun chewo. Lama who is right now guiding me in the right directions, who is being like the driver for the boat to cross these oceans of suffering, who is being there giving me the example and strength and guiding me, yeah, driving me through, or being like a shepherd to me. Oh, unfortunately, somehow we cannot go back in time where Buddha was, and unfortunately we cannot forward to the future Buddhas that will exist in this planet. But somehow right now at this very moment, this man is right in front of me who is telling me the truth. So he is essential from blessing from all the Buddhas in the past and the futures, and this very present moment flowing through him to me and giving me the example. So he becomes a very essential of our practice. So Lama, my Lama, I prostrate to the Lama, and the Buddha on the forehead, who has shown me the abilities, who have been the great, great, I think, revolution to the mankind, the greatest news for all of us, who have shown us the ability to the possessive of all the Buddha nature within every sentient beings. What a great news it is, Other who would know, he found himself. So now we are trying to do that. See, what a great news it is. Who have shown us the abilities, that who have been there. Or such a devotion to that. And all his speech, all his words are all the antidote of every disease that we accumulate. Yeah, it's almost like a perfect medicine for every the root cause of all the sufferings. Dharma. And the Sangha, the one who is like a perfect friends community, who are in that path, trying to overcome all the obstacles, all the sufferings, and to be there for others, always willing to really take and be compassionate, kindness. It's like a perfect physician of a Buddha, perfect antidote that he have given, and a perfect nurse, the community who is following that path as a friends and gathering, all of you. So I bow down to them with the great devotions, and put down your knee and your palm, and then touch your forehead down, and then once you touch down, you visualize as all the 5 root poisons, yeah, attachment, anger, ignorant, and then jealousy, and all of those completely touched down. And as if you are standing up, visualize you have completely how do you say that? Completely
eliminated.
Yeah, left it down there. You didn't took back. Okay? You left it there. And so therefore it is very important to once you bow down, and then you immediately get up. You don't do like this. And then it's like it will look like a hard time you're getting rid of those, so attached to it. So it is very important to stand up immediately. Immediately. And so therefore it's a kind of like a auspicious thought, yeah, to have that. So as you are eliminating those, completely purifying those anger, hatred, jealousy, whatever the root cause of all the obstacles, and then you stand up, and then you do that 3 times, And those, when you do that 3 times, you don't only visualize you make it much more effective and powerful. So when you make it effective and powerful, you visualize your father, very this lifetime, who is so kind to me, protective of me. Very this lifetime, my mother standing with me, doing the same thing. And then, so you do prostration, eliminating, completely left behind, you will stand up. And so, then your father, visualize furthermore effective, your father standing next to you, doing the same thing. Your very lifetime of this mother, who is so kind, compassionate, standing next to you. These two, one is very protective, one is very compassionate, and they both are so, effectively they are standing with me, willing to purify themselves, bowing down, eliminating all those things, negativities. And then behind you, countless mother beings, and you can project them as yourself. You can visualize as yourself. It is easy to look, manifest, visualize yourself countless. It is little difficult to think about someone else, but it's easy to think. As you go into a mirror house, hundreds of them look like you. So think like that. Behind me, countless, numberless are behind me, doing the same thing and same time, and making it so effective and powerful. Not only I am purifying today, but I am eliminating all the sentient beings, their negativities also. So you do that 3 or 4 times of prostrations, and to and so and then your busy schedule, if you have busy schedule, you cannot do a long length prostrations. You know how to do the long length prostrations? Can you do one here? Yeah. This is long one. Be careful. That's enough. Oh yeah. So the first thing is, when you do these, see how hard it is to do. Like, you have to think all positive, very hard. And then you have to work. The beneficial is, how much benefit it gets. Is the first thing is you save money from gym. Yeah. You go there every month, pay something, and then lift this heavy weight, You lift yourself and purify. Save money from that, save money from gas. Yeah. And save the time. You do your exercise in home, purifying. Body, not only just physical, but from the mentally purifying. Exercise of mental. So first thing is you purify. You get the full good health, structure. And then mentally you become much more peaceful and compassionate. So there's a lot of beneficial. Far more greater beneficial than going to a gym and just a yoga. It's a benefit, of course, yoga has its own benefit, but this one is far more greater. And not only that, you purify completely, not only these lifetimes, but you are thinking about many lifetimes, countless lifetimes we might have taken, all their negativities all are purified same time. So great beneficial. You accumulate a great merit. That is the prostrations to do when you are next to the altar. And depending on time of when you have time or not, do the long one if you have time. If not, the short one. Short one is just kneel down and then bow down. Then if you don't have time, that much of a time, Then you just, front of the altar, you just bow down 3 times. And even that is also, you don't have it, just 1 time. Yeah. But all of those things to teach oneself are gratitude. Yeah. Eliminating that ego, that pride, that we always say, I know. You know, when we say that, we really don't know. You know, when we say that, definitely we have to look back and think one more time. Do I really know this? It is very important, yeah. So, just do it for the sake of oneself. For nobody but oneself, you know. Just do it. Eliminate this pride, ego, all of those things. Just lift it there, leave it there, and then raised up with such a gratitude, such a kind and humble to all sentient beings, you know. So that way, it is one way to accumulate the merit and to purify oneself, and the first thing you do. Now, second is making offerings. Kamsum jori lekso pangme tan tizan rocho luyang yang nyen so devar shikpa sedan hlomi so taba chenpu choji chebara chi immeasurable treasure, immeasurable treasures and prosperities of 3 worlds, fragrance, great flowers, songs and dance and melodies and tons of etc. to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas and all his disciples. With the pure offerings, I make these offerings to you all. So therefore, the reason why you do that is not because the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha and all of his disciples or Bodhisattvas and all the goddess, you offer these things to them not because they are hunger, not because they are not like, you know, they're thirsty, you know. It is because to eliminate one's own habitual, yeah, in order to eliminate that, our desire, our attachments, our miserliness, to eliminate that. So therefore, habit of attachments and so therefore I'm offering everything, you know. This is very important, you know. This is very important. You need to understand there is only 2 ways that you will accumulate merit. There's only 2 ways. And one is by doing offering to the highest, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the higher God and Goddess, the one who guide us in the right way. You do offering to them to accumulate the merit. And there is another way, is being generous to those who are in need. You share what you own and you share what you have with a great generosity. So you accumulate one's merit. There's only 2 ways. There is no other way at all. So we have to see where we are going to start this now, to have furthermore greater accumulation of merit for oneself, to be much more further fortunate, because we are very limited right now. Yeah, we are very limited. Our thoughts are very limited. We cannot think beyond certain things, and then it becomes limited because we are just kind of like, no, I don't think I can do that because I don't have money. I don't think I can afford it. You know, there are some people who would think, oh, I will have a lunch in Paris and I will have a dinner in India. And they can do it. And that's his karma, that's his fortunate. Somehow he earned it from one way or another, from different lifetimes. So he have it. So in order to accumulate such a merit, We already have a certain limitations of certain merit of already fortunate, but furthermore to be able to have that kind of possibilities. How many of you all think like, oh, we wish we will have like a stupa here, a big temple here, Buddha's image here, but then we cannot do it because it becomes very limited. Our fortune is very limited. So we struggle to make this happen. Even we all get together, still it is hard. Why? Because it's a limitation of one's own karma. Yeah? So in order to have that kind of a limitless of fortune or merit, we have to work. We have to earn it. We have had the karma to be born as such a precious human form. Now it is up to us, really, further in the future, what you want to be. So the same thing, in order to have that, we have to eliminate all those negative thoughts, the miserliness. In order to give someone, the second part I said, to giving, to accumulate the merit is one way only is to really give. Yeah? Whether it is you earn money or you're destitute to the clothes or homeless or whatever you do, being generous to those who are in need, what you can share. But sometimes it is very hard. Sometimes it is very hard for us to give up things that are so attached to it. So it becomes a little difficult. And we cannot give things when you are so attached to it, because it does not, accumulates the merit, because you have a regression comes, after that. There is a hook behind it. So it becomes does not becomes a pure intention of really giving. You see? If you are giving somebody something in a birthday party, yeah, something like, here we go, nice present, inside you, next year you're going to give me better than this one. And next year comes your birthday, and then very next month you're waiting for that gift back, and if it does not works, then you go like miserable. Yeah, you're thinking, what happened? I gave her that watch. Now she didn't show up. Why? What did I do? I've been so kind to her. So this suffering is not from now, is you have created there back then, yeah? You hooked up. The minute you expect something, you're hooked up with the suffering, and so you have these expectations. So we not only really being giving with a really unconditionally, but you're giving with expectations, yeah. So it's a suffering. So we have to practice that, right? We have to practice that. The best practice that you could ever do is within oneself, home, in your home. And that would be the best way, is to create a small altar and few bowls of offering bowls, and you offer water every morning. Wake up and you just pour those water. Before sunrise, offer to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and all of those. Evening before sunset, you take out that, clean up. Water is free, clean, and you won't feel that miserliness. And so you practice every day to be able to do so in the future, that you won't have a feeling or regressions that you cannot give things that makes you feel regret in the later. Yeah, that is not generosity. So it is very important to understand. So to practice a generosity or practice of complete generosity, earn the great merit, furthermore to be fortunate, then it is important to start from the altar where you can offer. If you can, future, Every cup can hold incense, food, flowers, perfumed waters, great lamps, all of those wonderful things that we have in this world we can offer, we should offer, but it up to our capacity. We have to look. Yeah. So the easiest and not feeling any regret is the best thing is water. So you, through your pure heart, you pour that water every morning, offering those. And you know, offerings. So not to get attached. Always it is important. For instance, like you eat, drink, whatever you're taking, before you get so attached to it, you just offer it. Yeah. You see beautiful park, you feel like, oh, I wish I had one same thing like in my garden. Before you feel that, you just offer it to Buddha Dharma. Then you will not have that very strong kind of attachment. You already offer it. Your nice clothes, you offer immediately first, and then you wear it. So you create this habit of doing that good things, and so that you can be perfect in the future. Yeah. Sumpa, the third one is to, you know, confessing the negative actions. Yeah. So chewan di tan srap chingwa yi nyamong wangki mige cheba kun shakbi jalpo nyempo top ji tampa namji shunglu shakpara zö shungshin shakpara zös. In the present life, the very present life, and garlands of flowers, former lives, yeah, and that you know, patterns, kind of, you know, like a mala or cycle, yeah, numberless life we might have taken, had committed non-virtues by a power of afflictions. Thus, with the king of confessions, for remedials power, share confessions, confess in the accordance of the text excellent master had instructed. So in order to purify the negativities that we might have accumulated from the past and the present and futures that we might accumulate, all of those that patterns, yeah, goes, in order to purify or do a confessions. It is not just simply going somewhere and meet with the Lama and say, you know, I killed this man and I'm sorry. And I go, okay, you purify. And then you go back and do it again. You just go and to meet Lama and say that is not enough. Yeah. Even tell that in thousands of people in front of them, thinking, wow, I killed and I'm sorry. No, that's not confession. You know, confession that, you know, the one good news is a negative has, you know, that the negative really don't have any qualities actually. The one good quality it has is purifiable. And that's how we can do it is, you know, when you done some negativities, then you regret right after that. Remorse. And then take commitment that never do such things again with a full of compassion. And then stick with that commitment forever. Then it has all the substance or whatever you call it to need to purify it, it completes to be able to purify. Otherwise, just saying it is not enough. Yeah, you have to put yourself in action in where you take the commitment and you never do that again, and stick with that commitment, and generate furthermore greater compassion, and that is purifiable. Then definitely it's purifiable. That completes the confessions or whatever you call it. Otherwise, we will keep doing again and again. So otherwise, it's not purifiable. It's very difficult to just say it, in public. So it is very important to, even, for instance, it almost looks like for me, every moment I need to purify. For me, I feel every breath that I take, I have to purify. Because every breath that I take, it plays with a great sacrifice from every living beings. You just being exist in this planet, taking breath with me, I'm so appreciative of it. So grateful for it. And so their actions, every single thing. And so sometimes you walk for the sake of one's own happiness. We walk on the grass. No wonder how many, I wonder how many bugs might have stepped by those feet just for me to feel better in the grass. Just to fulfill my desire, I might kill tons of creatures down there. Unknowingly. Knowingly, we don't even remember. Yeah. Unknowingly, countless, cannot count. So all of those, we might have earned the negativities. Today is the time. Today, being born as a human form of body is the time to purify those, generate compassion. Because none of other living beings have that abilities or possible capacities that they can do. Where they are very limited in many ways. So there is a great Mahasiddha who called Katayana, and since he had a great respect from all the village, they put him into a great temple, build up a temple, very nice home, everything, and he could sit on the golden throne, very nice, luxury, everything, that whole entire village, because he was a great master, and they could put. But every time people sees him all the way down there in the muddy place, almost dipped his leg into this swamp and pulling out all this mud and making a tsatsa. You know what tsatsa is? The imprint of the countless Buddhas. They're making those images and putting it in the side and praying. So all the village comes and begs him, please, great Katayana, you don't have to do this, you don't have to fall in muddy place. We could do that. Why would you do these things? Rinpoche, you can sit on throne, you can sit on places where you want to be, nice place, garden. And you know what he said? Whatever I eat, whatever I wear, whatever I experience, I am the only one who have to face that. So I have to purify, I have to confess myself every moment. You cannot do that for me. So entire village felt, wow, these great Katayana have to do this, then what about us? So everybody fall in that mud and making this tsatsa, Turned out to be that place become like one of the greatest place actually. So we have to think, every moment we live in, whether we have to confess oneself and to take the commitment that never do such things again, and then fulfill one's life. And so Jipa, fourthly, the rejoicing in the virtue of others. Tusum deshe jawa cho nam thang, teksum tembi zo zochang phagbi cho, drovi khamdir gevi geso chinchi kun dai tepa hingne yirango. The 3 times of Buddhas and entire families of the Buddhas, the assembly of a Sangha holder of the Dharma, treasurer of 3 yanas, whatever virtue deeds done in this world by them, I with great faith from the bottom of my heart rejoice them. Which is very important, yeah? Which is very important. Now in order to really eliminate that kind of envy and envy and jealousy, to eliminate, which is very important. You know, so in daily we get this envy from someone, we get jealousy from someone, and in order to eliminate those, it is very important to rejoice on whatever, not necessarily only towards the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, their activities. And of course it is very, very immeasurably a great merit that you earn the merit. But again, every single moment whenever you encounter some things, like people who have, like who does like building statues, building schools, building rehabilitation centers for the sake of others, or there are so many things going on like beautiful hospitals that benefit others, and then immediately rejoicing. Even to those people who are having beautiful house, even those people who are driving, what do you call that, very nice Mercedes car or BMW, or what is that other one, the tiger one, what is that, Jaguar. Just looking at them, they looks like first few days they will be very happy anyway, you know. But you look at them and don't get jealous, don't get envy, just pray, wow, if that makes him happy, I pray that he have 20 more of them. If this person have this wonderful mansion, big house, wow, if that creates him happiness, I pray that he have 20 more of them for them. Rather than envy and jealous, rejoice. And to those who build the stupas, temples, and great, activities that are beneficial for many countless beings, rejoicing upon them by far, even not participating, just far, rejoicing upon them with the wishing to be accomplished, this one is equally merit to be you're doing the same, as equally you're building the stupa. That much of accumulation, you accumulate merit. So it is very beneficial, yeah. You have to be smarter, of course, right? We are human being. We cannot be stupid. Envy and jealousy creates disaster for oneself. Knowingly, we still do it. That's very stupid, eh? See? So there are limitless possibilities that we could accumulate merit, and so this is one of it, to rejoice upon all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Wow! Those great beings, what they have done on this planet for the sake of others. Able to do so myself, And so there you are trying to, eliminate the, what you call as envy and jealousy, but rejoice upon whatever they are, Ngapa Chokokovikuani, fifthly, requesting to turn the Dharma wheel, Java Zigpa, Changchup Drovilam, Tamshu Dutsi Rimba Chinyenam, Kachab Shingi Droan Didala, Saptan Jachi, Chokor Kortu Sol. Buddha viewed at that to attain the Buddhahood. There are many nectars of dharmas. So to all the sentient beings equal to the size of sky, I request to turn the wheel of a profound Dharma vase, a profound vase of a Dharma. So requesting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to teach the Dharma antidote, the proper antidote for all the ignorance. And by the power of aspirations, one can develop the wisdom and understanding of profound meaning of the teachings. So as we are so fortunate, as we are also fortunate that we have born in such a time where when the Buddha's names are not vanished from this world and this era, or where many of the great Bodhisattvas are still wandering around doing their best to eliminate all the sufferings. And the scripture and the Buddha nature and compassion, loving kindness still exist in this planet. So fortunate for oneself. Yeah? And so therefore praying that those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas again and again give this continuation of the teachings that still remained, wishing that not only myself but many can benefit, many can reach by those and could able to generate that kind of kind and compassions. That's a kind of like a purpose of this prayer. Yeah. And so and then beseeching to not to pass into a nirvana, huntu jawa thangpo thukje tar jawa thangpo thukje tar drogun yalwar midur thamchawi dungha khubi janso matong war khachap thukje drogun yuksu souls. This is like a full requesting or praying that as the Buddha in the former times of embedded in the mind of Bodhisattva had also promised not to remain as single beings, renounce as single beings, is still the oceans of suffering in the samsara gets emptied. I beseech the compassionate Buddha not to pass into nirvana. Even obviously it is not going to, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are not at all. Their nature is to really, their Buddha nature or their accomplishment of Buddha nature is basically they attain that Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. They will never abandon, or they will never leave us. But yet this is your way of saying it, your devotion's way of saying it, to requesting to remain in this, so that when you generate this compassion and kindness within yourself, you will feel this yearning kind of, I want not only myself but everyone to experience this, everyone to get touch with this. So this is kind of like your prayer, that every living beings, please, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like myself, I have met many great beings. I pray that they all have the fortunate enough to be able to meet so, and they generate this compassion to every living beings. So this is kind of your prayer, to have that kind of fortunate enough to every living beings. That's your prayer, yeah, so that they all can have so in such a way that you had one. And then at the last is the seventh one, is the dedication of prayer, yeah, and dedicating the merit to the enlightenment of all sentient beings. Is aspiration prayer to dedicate whatever you accumulated for so far, like doing prostrations, doing offerings, to all the regressions of all the other things, and then you accumulate so much of a merit, and then this also with the selflessly you are dedicating towards all the mother beings, so that they all can benefit. And it is very important to supplicate those what you call as a merit, dedicate those. Otherwise our human habitual is very up and down. It's like a stock market, yeah. I have no good experience with the stock market, but every time I hear something very down, people get heart attack, yeah. So which is not good, Many people die from that. So last few years, I think the America stock market went down, up, down, up, down, up. And maybe people have affected very much, yeah. All the saving is gone. Everybody is so upset, angry. Some are died, whatever. So having a mind of a sort of like that kind of stock market is any moment we could lose our every good part of our accumulated merits. So we don't need a huge anger to destroy everything. Spark of anger is enough to burn down entire jungle. Yeah. So similar to that, spark of anger is enough to destroy the very good things that you have done. So before you destroy that by your habitual, you dedicate that merit to all sentient beings. It's like a drop of nectar that you earn putting into ocean, never dries. It's like a fixed deposit. You have that, yeah? A fixed deposit. You earn more interest. Yeah. So we use this into dharma, yeah? Merit, dedicate, fixed there. You earn the interest. Wow. And forever it will increase, never decrease. Once you dedicate, it increases furthermore. Never will go down. But if you keep it with yourself, you can lose any moment, because it's like a money, yeah? Any moment you see some nice things, bring, gone. You see? So make it fixed so that you don't have to worry about it. So the dedicating merit is very important, very smart way of doing things, yeah? So it remains there forever for you. So yeah. So seventh, dedicating the merit of enlightenment of all sentient beings. Chinye sabi geso chi pa tisum devarshikpa jese chi namdan roi tuendu menpa shin lame chanchu topsir movarchi. However, the multitude of virtues are accumulated, similarly as the 3 times of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas had prayed for the sake of all sentient beings, I too dedicate for them to attain a Buddhahood, so that not only myself but every living beings can get enlightenment and eliminated from this cycle of life, cycle of suffering. So this is when you supplicate like that, when you do the aspiration of such prayer, then it multiplies not only one time but 100,000 times, and then you are like saving that in such a way that it always increases furthermore. Even in a daily life, in a worldly place also, you think of us, yes, you keep the money with yourself, right? It does not rotate. The minute you put there somewhere, it generates. So it's like that, yeah. The minute you put it's a very smart way of doing it. So it's you are dedicating that merit with the selfless. Even the bank think what I'm talking about is very still it's a selfish thing, yeah. But this one is selflessly. Immediately you accumulate this as 100,000 times for you, and it remains there forever. So it is very important to supplicate and dedicate and do the aspiration prayer at the end of every action that you take. Every good action, yeah? Not all of those, but every good action you take, with the full of, kind and compassionate motivation. Then the second one is pray to the great yogi of Tsori, which is, somehow some of you have a long relationship with me, some of you just met, some of you have some time ago you knew me, and somehow knowing and being together here today is also one way or another, is nothing coincident. Yeah, so somehow it meant to be some kind of connections from my previous life that you had, and so therefore you are meeting me today. Within the millions of Texan, yeah. So y'all are here. I'm just kidding. Only y'all are here. So somehow some connections from the previous life that definitely might have. So I share this prayer so that you can do this and to the connection to the previous Tsori Dechen, up to me, and I wrote this from my heart to supplicating this prayer to him, and so I and many others who have got in touch with me to be able to do so in such a wonderful activities, such great activities, such a compassionate activities to benefit all sentient beings. So I will read this now. Chinlap nawa bumchi chiwine ngonsar nencho tsori takbi shin junme kunye trubi nanjurupa dechin yijin narbur sorwande. The place twisted together by abundant blessings. The place is called Tsori, the land of a marvelous place. Unchanging accomplished yogi, Dechen, like the precious jewel, may I take homage to you. I take homage to you. I pray homage to you. So, you see, now in English I have to find the right words that make sense, because it's almost like when I write in Tibetan and then write in English, it does not come the same thing. It's just like upside down, So everything is upside down here. So the place where it's like 100,000 manifested blessings gather in that place called Tsori, where Tsori Dechen, the great yogi, have stayed. And the Tsori, what does it mean by Tsori, is actually not Zori or Sorry, it's Tsori. It's like a Tsa does not exist in English, so that's very hard for people to say it. Tso. 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 Sorry. Sorry. So sometimes it sounds like sorry. It's not sorry, please. Oh, sorry, Rinpoche. So Tsori is like a Ritso Tsori, which is like the highest mountain. That just means the meaning of the Tsori is Ritso Tsori means the tip of the mountain. Yeah, peak. Actually, the peak. Yes. Where in Caopakshu, which is the region of Caopakshu and Chamdo, he used to stay in that place, peak of that mountain, for so many years to really retreat. And many people later, as they all know, this is the peak of the whole region. They said the Tsori became his name now, and so Tsori and then Dechen was his name, so they call it Tsori Dechen. Dechen means the great joy. Yeah, so somehow the place where he did the retreat for many years became like a pilgrimage for everyone, because Tsori Dechen was unlike any other lamas. He had many miracle power that he possessed, not only for the general lamas, that he was being a master to everyone, but even the lay peoples, their activities in daily lives, they also had so much beneficial by having that lama in that region. So not only he played a big role as a spiritual, but even in general terms of living lifestyles, yeah, in that region. So such as miracle, little bit of things that I have heard, and just a few numbers that I would share that with you all, that the Tsori Dechen, he was not that of a famous, because he was a wonder lama, wonder yogi. Because the great wonder yogis are never like to claim a title, they never like kind of what you call as a fame or name or politics. They never like those. They always run away from those. But the reason why he became very famous later in his life is because whoever he have touched and taught, they became a very, very incredibly powerful teachers. So one of his teachers left to pilgrimage towards Lhasa, where the capital of Tibet, and there he settled for a few months, and then the people find out this Lama has a great miracle power, and those politicals also involved in there, saying we need his help. So he became one of the great master for the many Tibetan leaders in Lhasa. And so therefore, when they took him as a example of great lamas, they asked him in the assembly, saying, "Who is your teacher, by the way?" And then he points out towards Kharsa, Tsaopakshu region of Chamto, saying, "My master lives there in where it's called Tsori, and his name is Tsori Dechen." Then, of course, everybody started not only really having a great respect to this Lama, but they really tried to find out who that Lama was, because he always would never like to get involved in any politics or anybody. He's a wander yogi, he always liked to wander, So they found out, they went, and there was a short story of that one of the great Tibet is not a small country, yeah. Tibet is a very big country, very, very big country.
As big as Texas.
Far more bigger than that. Oh, bigger than Texas. Oh, of course, bigger than Texas. Oh, yes. China right now looks very big. The reason why it looks big now is because they have taken entire Tibet. So Tibet is not a small country. So it has its own region of different kingdoms. You see? So in those occasions, it's when you come from the different regions of great lamas who have status of politics, politically very high status, and then you have great respect from the spiritual level, if you go to one region to another, it's almost like an entire army is going. Of course, Tibet does not have any army, but it almost looks like a entire kind of town is moving towards one place to another, because that much of a devotions they have towards their lamas. So one of the it's called Phagwala, which is one of the greatest yogi of all time, was visiting from one region to the next, and he heard that there is a Lama called Tsori Dechen, who is a wonder yogi, who right now instructing in one of the retreat center, and he heard that he have ability to see past, present, and futures. Not only that, but he have possessed the miracle powers to really heal people. So he hears this and he says, "I really want to see Tsori Dechen." does he really have that kind of power? So he comes with this huge army. Yeah? It's like a bunch of market coming towards him. And that day, what happened was Pakwala was very elegant. Of course, the Tibet is now is very poor because they lost the country, they lost everything. Yeah. But on those times, those great masters, great leaders, they wear such elegant clothes that they're all made out of gold. Yeah? It's so rich country, yeah? With educations, with a very civilized country, highly organized, highly educated, had 6,000 monasteries where all universities all been destroyed. Thousands of monks, each monastery have all killed. So now this comes and he goes in the middle of the road. He says, let me see who is, he have all the disciples and the monks, and he says, I want the most handsome Lama, his assistants, to come up. And then what he does is, and of course, if you are, not title of any lamas, but you look handsome, and your clothes are all dirty. Yeah? In Tibet, of course, you live in such altitude where you really don't take much of bath. So it's like 6 months or years you may take one bath. So there is a saying in a very funny way saying that if you put a goat and Tibetan person inside, the goat will faint. But not now though. We do take everyday bath. We don't live in Tibet anymore. So anyway, so you can smell now. but handsome looking, but dirty clothes, of course, And so what he does is Pakwala calls him up and says, you wear all my clothes. He puts all his clothes on him, and he wears all the dirty clothes on him, and he says, I will sit on the last line where all of you sit, and then he will sit on my throne, where on the place. And so let's see what he has it. So he goes inside in the retreat cave, it's a very big cave, and everybody goes inside and they all sit. He puts this very handsome man with the elegant clothes, and he looks very nice, and he sits on there, and then they start pouring the tea. Yeah, and the assistant started pouring the tea, and he goes, today, Tsori Deshin says, today you pour the tea from the down to up, not from the bottom to down. Okay? And the assistants, lamas, they know these are highly politically involved lamas. They're considered very high lamas. So if you do a little mistake, you're going to be like in big trouble. What do I do? He was Rinpoche, and goes, no, do as I say. Okay? He goes, pours from the down, 1 or 2 pouring cup. Immediately, the person who first he poured, he stood up immediately. And he said, I'm sorry, you do have something. I really want to know. So even the Pawalas, the great masters, there are many great masters who come to listen to Tsori Deshin, what he have to share. And there are many great masters in Tibet who have been benefited by Tsori Deshin. Tsori Deshin was not only known for his own meditation, but involving in an entire society, in a well-being of the society itself. And so he played a big role in there. And so later on, one of the lama in Pendra Rinpoche, His Holiness Pendra Rinpoche monastery, when I was studying there was an old man who had a incredibly power that he could see in a mirror divination. You ever heard of divination? Mm-hmm. That who can see who can see the mirror divinations, which he will put a very metal kind of shiny things, and then he blows in the rice and then the grains, and then throws that on that mirror, and it will show you like a TV. Yeah. And so if someone get lost something, or a thief stricken, or it will show you in that mirror, yeah, who did it. You know. So that of incredibly knowledge that he had. And whenever I used to go in, Lama Pema used to say, you know, oh, now Tsori Deshen, I don't know about this lifetime what you would do, but the last life, you know, you had the power. You really did. And you know, you gave me I only when I want to go to pilgrimage in Lhasa, I needed your authorized paper that signed by you. Then I could really go around Tibet everywhere so easily, and everybody welcome. So, of course, I was very young. I didn't talk much on those subjects. But of course, when he said that, you know, I kind of see that he hold quite a, you know, status too in Tibet. So in a many ways, even the stupas that he had built in the past still exist in Tibet. There is monasteries. There are many things that still exist. So there are so many activities, not only you know, religious point of view, but many benefited by him, his activities. So I bow to that of his activities, and I wrote this prayer so that you all have it. Is Tsori the pure, marvelous place of unchanging, accomplished yogi, that yogi who are wish-fulfilling jewel type of yogi, who not only the one who is need of you know, eliminate themselves from suffering, but those who are temporary sufferings, and he have always benefited every sentient beings of their levels of their needs. I pray to you this life and the garlands of former lives. Yeah. Chevandidan serap thengwa kun gompo chel ta namya midrashing kusum thukji ngudup malupa daja gosum member chinji lobes. So I this life and the former many lives be never separated from you, a great teacher or great Lord, and not leaving a single siddhi of your body, speech and mind. Please ripen and bless our body, speech and mind as yourself. Yeah, as to have that of you know, embodiment of a Buddha and Dharma and Sangha as you have, and bless upon me, that so that I can also have that of qualities. Ngedun chugunyin shenyin sulzungwa luni neka neke nela kebi denda tal tinle chome luchen kunla zi dani gumpo chela tsumpar shows definitive of the ultimate, you know, one, the Dhammakaya, in the form of a spiritual master who is a complete awakened, incomparably proficient in two traditions, which is, you know, in two traditions in both with spiritual and the worldly, care all the living beings with impartial spiritual activities, without any differentiating or equality. Thus I may be as similar as you, great Lama or great Tsori or Lord. So this is a prayer. Yeah. And then the third one is my prayer to my Lama, who is very this lifetime. Even though I am not a part of their Palyul, which is His Holiness Pendra Rinpoche comes from the region from the Dege where the Payul's lineages flows. But I'm not reincarnated of Payul Tulkus, Payul's lamas, but still with such a great kindness from him that he raised me. In there are many other Tulkus also raised under his care. So I'm so fortunate to able to have the opportunity to meet with such a great compassionate Buddha in a form of of a form of man who is a flesh and body of a Buddha met in my lifetimes, and because of him today I could able to do whatever I can to be as a man, as a humane, yeah, to be as humane, yeah. Ningmi tundre tembi ndrome cher luchen kunji guntu salzepa ngedun shenin chempu yondrapi jime tupden shirup sowande, the great lamp of Dharma in this very degenerate time, such an era, such a time that he is like the lamp, he is like a light, eliminating all the darkness, eliminating all the living beings as a great Lord, well known as the definitive spiritual master. I supplicate to you, Jigme Tupten Shidup is his name. Jigme, the fearless. Jigme is meaning of a fearless. Yeah, Jigme is like a fearless. Confidence like a endless sky. Yeah, even the barbarian conceiving doctrines of a Buddha, Tupten as a poison, are eliminated by the existence of teachings and practice Shedup like a sun and a moon. Thus, to the perfect feet of a Chuki Drayang, the melody of the voice of a sound of Dharma, which is like a perfect antidote that I can hear. It's almost like I'm hearing something. We are all like a hunger for countless lifetimes, and the most the favorite delicious the delicacy is now fed. It's almost like a fulfilling, yeah. So all the desire, and I supplicate Tupi Wangchu Nimi Sempa Cho Pema Tarbu Chaso Tima Me Norbushindu Soba Yanyan Deb Gunde Kunjun Chela Sowan Dev. So I supplicate Drupe Wangchu, the accomplished one, the great Bodhisattva of the degenerate time, has no impurities of attachment and the like. Like Padma, like a lotus, like a wish-fulfilling jewel. I supplicate again and again, thus to you, the wish-fulfilling Lord, I supplicate. When my master started these projects in 1960s, he had to ride a bicycle, very newly arrived in India in such a new place, and 150-60 kilometers ride bicycle to bring food for the monks. And so how he started that way today is one of the biggest monastery, largest monastery, that the most great teachers produce from there towards all over the world. So very fortunate to have the opportunity in my lifetime that I have breath, I have breathed with him, I have heard him, I have heard his voice. Very fortunate. Even in last, before he died, I had a meeting, a very short meeting with him in Los Angeles. He was there, and entire my life I have never asked any questions because I have no doubts that he's my Lama and he's my Buddha. But at the end of life, I had a request to make, because I studied this project, in Nepal and India, and I wanted to ask a blessing on those. and I invited some of the group of people, and then we all went there, and I show him the map of all the monasteries, and he said, "Oh, I've been there. Yeah, it's coming out very good. It's coming. I have been there. Yeah, never give up, huh? I've been there. Okay, I've been there. Yes." And that was more than enough for me. And that blessing was more than enough for me. I was full of tears and thanking him for being there. And definitely he's been there. I have no doubt. Even though he's not physical, but of course, And then he gave some advice to all my students, and it was a memorable moment for me. Yeah. And that was the only request I did in all my life. Yeah. Otherwise, there is no question. Yeah, I have no question at all. So he's been inspiring for many Tulkus like myself, and many Khenpos and many great lamas who are running around today. And some are in abroad doing teachings and giving lectures and doing their part to preserve of their dharma, or some are in Asia running around there. And so this is my my small prayer that I felt right, and then I wrote it and I pass it to you all, so you can read this. There will be English transcriptions, which you could able to read in Tibetan also, and then you have the translations also. It needs a little bit of work on that. Maybe I can ask Jerry to work on that, and maybe you can get this. And we are preparing a small kind of booklet for this prayer. So this is, as you can see, direct transmissions that I have treasury built. I have written this, and this is yours. Okay. And then like last year, before I left from Los Angeles, I'm sharing this everywhere I go, because the last birthday party that I had in Los Angeles, before I left, the day before I left, usually people celebrate my birthday on August 8th. And so August 8th and August 9th or 10th or something like that, I was leaving from Los Angeles. So before the birthday, they were all wanting to party. So, and they had a little party gathering, and I felt I need to, everything is impermanent, yeah. Nothing stays forever. So therefore, maybe I should leave some words of mine so that they can think, So I wrote this, and so far it didn't happen anything. I'm still alive. So I share this again with all of you. This has been not written in Texas, so I will read this as auspicious. Because I found LA is a very funny place. Funny in a sense, I'm not saying with criticizing, but it's a very unique place. It's a very unique place. Everybody is trying to. I find everybody is trying to find. It's everywhere. It's the same thing everywhere. But they're mostly like when you stay in Hollywood, then you feel this. It's almost like this is the land of Los Angeles. I can feel that there is many angels have broken wings. So I wrote these words of mine. To my beloved ones from the land of the lost feather from angels. To my beloved ones from the land of the lost feather from angels, in the space of countless beings, in the land of pure saints, countries that beings with the wings, I lost the feathers from my wing, in the middle of the crowd, in the land of angels. If you find one, use it in the best way. Fly up in the clouds, very high in the sky blue, freeing from every dreams. Don't forget to come down, to share what you have found. With the grace of a sun and moon, there are many beautiful places in this world. You can land on the green trees, cool and shades, to eat those fruits from the lovely branch. You can share the nests on the trees. You can land on a pure earth, pure land of innocent beings, where all beings share their happiness and sorrow, where you come to know equanimity. When you come to know equanimities, you can generate compassion of unconditions. You can land on the water. It is the oceans of nectar, where you can drink and swim. When you fulfill your thirst, you can share the patience of a nectar. You can land on the rocky mountains, the strong rock of the caves, gaining mind of concentrations. You can help others to be mindful. Many are needs to find their feathers in this pure land of Buddhas and the countries of angels. Many have lost their feathers to fly in the sky freely, in the space of countless beings, in the land of pure saints, countries that have been with the wings. I lost a feather from my wings, in the middle of the crowd, in the land of angels. If you find one, please use it in the best way you can. Fly up on the clouds, very high in the sky blue, free from everything. When you are with yourself, don't forget to come down. Don't forget to come down. Don't forget to come down. So this is my small gift to you all. You like it? Yeah, I wrote something for Miami. They didn't like it much. When I read that last time, they will go like, "Oh, that's not us." I think it was a little strong for them, you know. But in the beginning, it's very nice, yeah. Mothers from the miracle land of Miami, yeah, where they live in next to the southern beach, and with the I forgot the right words that I used. Somehow very nice, but then it goes on with some kind of complaint, yeah. But anyway, so that was my small offering to you all, and you continues to practice and generate that, and we always do the tongling, so we do a tongling today together. You may say, you may feel, you know, I often find this in a Western country or any other countries, like a very developed countries. I always find people saying, even though they don't say it, I can feel it, saying, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You know, it is going to be the same thing until we get it. You know, it is going to be the same thing. Because it is not a late night show kind of thing, you know, where you have to entertain every day. It's not about entertaining us. It's about learning. It's about getting it. It's about understanding it, truly understanding it within oneself. Until we get it, we have to do it and we have to hear it. So it's not about what you call that, you know, comedy show, you know. So please, whenever you hear something, even Buddha's name again and again, hear it. Hearing is liberating. That itself is a lot of beneficial. So like always we do. Second last finger, press down, and then as you visualize, as you're taming and also pressing down all the negative thoughts, yeah, as the gesture of, you're putting down all the negative thoughts like anger, hatred, jealousy, all down now, all positive, compassion, kindness, generous, and visualizing that all, we use 3 breath in and out, exhale, inhale, exhale 3 times. And when we inhale, visualize as if we are taking all the negativities, sickness, suffering. Don't think of as if this sickness will go inside and then remain in my body. Don't think like that. Just think of as if I'm taking those their negativities, nothing left out, and then exhale. Visualize that it's completely cleaned up in your body, okay, and dissolve in a space. We'll take the breath in. And second one, when we visualize whatever left over, we take in. Visualize that rotate inside your stomach, all your body, completely all the negativities within yourself also become one, and then exhale, everything gone. Visualize as if your body become like crystal clear. The tiny little things, the last breath will take everything, tiny little things left over, we take inhale now. Visualize your body become like a crystal clear completely. Then you remove your hand, put it together, and put your elbow as straight as if you are small little eagle ready to fly. Backbone straight like an arrow, and then chink a little bit down. Eyes don't close, don't open widely, just look at on tip of your nose to the level with a full of compassion. Look, don't close your mouth, don't open your mouth, just leave it as normal. Touch your tongue on the upper mouth. And all the good qualities that Buddha has, visualize that I also wish to have those qualities. Now visualize the image of Buddha. A spark of light appears in the front of you, transform into an incredibly beautiful light and a form of Buddha. And that image is not like a statue, not like an image of a picture that drawn. The form of a rainbow that you can see through it. From his forehead to your forehead, visualize this very laser pointed shooting lights towards you and filling up from the toe to your body, filling up the nectar in your body. And you visualize that your body is becoming like bigger and bigger, and we have a countless pores, usually it's sweats. Visualize that all the body, countless pores are open like a flower. Entire body transform into flowers, countless. Now visualize that you're shooting a spark light from each flowers towards all directions, to all those sentient beings, living beings, whom you have taken all the negativities. Now you're giving this incredibly compassionate light towards them. Whoever gets it, visualize they all completely become awakened. And many are doing the same thing for many living beings. And visualize there is no one left behind that has not touched by your compassion. And visualize that, how wonderful it is, how fortunate I am to be able to reborn as a form of human and have the opportunity to do this compassionate, and pray that I would able to do so in such a active, compassionate. And visualize there are many sentient beings singing, dancing, and many who are positively the God, Goddess, Buddha, Bodhisattvas, all rejoice by your action and throwing the rains of flowers on you and all sentient beings. And rejoice upon this. How fortunate I am to be able to do so. So now visualize all the flowers dissolve into the body, and then visualize the light dissolve back to the image of Buddha. The image of Buddha dissolve by itself into a spark of light, and the spark of light dissolve by itself into space. And in that empty space, just stay your mind into that without having any thoughts, just a few seconds. Okay. I will take a 5-minute break, yeah? Go to the restroom and come back. And then we finish by blessing.
When will you return home?
July, end of July. Yeah. End of July. Usually not that fast, because I'm, this trip is only just to say hi. So it was like very short. Usually it takes me like 6 months, 7 months, sometimes 8 months to finish entire things and then go back, Yeah. So how have you been?
Oh, just wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Trying to keep him in line.
Yeah, yeah.
How's that working out for you?
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Rinpoche, over there at the homeless facility, they call her the chocolate woman.
Chocolate woman.
Because before we do meditation, she walks around and gives one Hershey's chocolate kiss to every single homeless person. There's hundreds of them. And every time they see her, immediately they start slobbering because they know they're going to get a chocolate kiss, you know. So I like to give her a hard time, and I tell the homeless people, I say, oh, y'all want to get a kiss from Catherine, huh? Can I get a kiss? And they're like, oh, yeah. So we have a lot of fun, and she's there every Wednesday night.
Thank you.
She's been very beneficial to everything that we've been doing since the beginning.
So kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah.
And then the 17-year-old outside. I have all boys and he has all girls, so it makes it real easy.
You okay?
Except no.
So I will do the prayer and little ceremony to bless you all and to give you this code here, and you also visualize as I guide you all, and so that it makes much more effective. Because if only I do things, then it may not affect much. If you play as according, then it may get much more effective. Yeah. So Namo Sanje Kunju Kadunu Chukunju Kadunu Kindu Kunju Kadan Lama Taman Jukadun Idan Lazun Jukadun Kadiji and Jukadun Chin Jumanawashi Baju Nada Shuaju Nantum Shuaju Oman Peme Honri Pe Oman Peme Honri Pe Honye Gedan London so Mani Pajin Tamrico Ngai Kalenda Maji Chinidem Chidem and Dujana Pajin Tamri Sudan Sajara Tichaju Gijilanga is in the detention to Lopper Ranazam. She bends out to the hand of all of them. Someone is someone. Someone is someone get by home, 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 someone is someone get. She bends out to the hand of all. Home and someone is someone get by home, pay, someone is someone get by home, pay. If you want, you can come over to me and visualize your body, speech and mind all in and out, purifying like a washing out, yeah, all the negativities. Ome ahum, ome ahum, ome ahum, ome ahum, oh yeah, ome ahum, ome ahum. And if you cannot kneel down, don't worry, you can, it's okay. Ma ahum, ome ahum, ome ahum, ome ahum. Come, please. You don't have to kneel down, you can do that, yeah. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, 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 oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum, oma ahum. Oma ahu, oma ahu, oma ahu, oma ahu, oma ahu, oma ahu. Oma ahu, 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 oma ahu. Namo tinza wada jibrji padela mata mane chile chile lamane chile. Tubjinang lamane chile yada tunji lamane chile jaw gonji lamane chile dai lamane chile kan hi lamane chile. Tejamalam jilamane chile jibelamane chile jibelamane chile. So visualize right now that you are not only receiving these blessings and protection from this Lama, but all his Lamas, his own Holiness Rinpoche, to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all lineage of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas ensemble beside him are huge in this mandala, and all their blessings flowing through him to give me the protections. Zoba chimbe zokshin jibelamane chile jibelamane chile mari jibelamane chile jibelamane chile jibelamane chile jibelamane chile jibelamane chile idam jaju jilazuna chile jilazuna chile nai jibelazuna chile nai jibelazuna chile saint bashin de batadu jibelazuna chile jibamai jibelazuna chile lungani yuglazuna chile zoba chimbe adi yuglazuna chile dobadde lazuna chile jungru pam lazuna chile chimite lazuna chile jireshire lazuna chile jamakoi lazuna chile Pemasungi lazuna chile yanda tuji lazuna chile chinde lazuna chile povatile lazuna chile maobedo lazuna chile zolopenji lazuna chile bishi lazuna chile zitobe lazuna chile dida tule lazuna chile podje gosumusun lenye santa sajo de padwa ne mezo sonje ne lon joni de tubal joni de pegin joni de tubal joni de tam jeta se meju badu jeta o meju yurun da mino jazin da chimo be se ngor to ba chinje lo shi ri benza da hando lo menza raja hon be so ha. With their blessings, all the lineage of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and his lamas and myself through is flowing all these blessings, and visualize that with the symbol of this Vajra, the Vajra that is symbol of a strength, that indestructible like a diamond, that is made out of such a instrument that is given like a khotap, which is like the warrior armor clothes, which is like in a warrior people fight and then they wear this metal clothes in order to have protections for themselves. So visualize that he is putting that kind of armor clothes made out of that Vajra, that is none of the obstacles now on, they will never affect me. He have put on these clothes to me so that never any obstacle can affect me. And visualize that the wind, the environment, the wind causes 21,000 different diseases with the pollutions, 21,000 different type of jaundice, 21,000 different type of cancers, and all the obstacles, 80,000 different type of obstacles are all eliminated right away. And you are coming out of like a moon, out of cloud. Completely your longevity increased, fortunes are increased, and given these protections on my shielded me from this armor clothes he put on. So visualize that he's putting this on me and come one by one to me. Nelung join the trouble join the pagan joy tam jana se mi shu do mi do yo do mi do jasen do chwa me se ma do ba ji bezer danam daraja hum be bezer danam daraja hum be bezer danam daraja she bezer danam daraja hum be 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 she bezer danam daraja hum be bezer danam daraja hum be so she bezer danam daraja hum be bezer danam daraja hum be come here she bezer danam daraja hum be bezer danam daraja no, yeah, Slowly. You don't have to bend down if it is difficult, yeah. Shri